In this video, I'm going to be addressing sort of a misconception that I see with many athletes that I work with and many athletes overall, in the fact that you should be doing plyometrics all of the time, running and jumping, right? Like doing field work, going and playing your sport 4, 5, 6 times a week in the off season. In my eyes, I don't see that it gives the most benefit in recovery of connective tissue. It kind of slows down the strength building and adaptation process if you're going to be strength training as well. Let me basically go over a breakdown of why I believe this is true. So first off, playing sports is plyometrics. Running and jumping, getting out of breaks, catching balls, right? Jumping up for balls, whatever sport you're playing. You're using some sort of plyometrics for running and jumping. So let's say you have two games or 1 game a week, right? You're already hitting plyometrics. So think of it that way, right? What do plyometrics do? They build tendon strength. But if you do too much of them, you're going to sort of get tighter and weaker tendons due to overuse of them, right? So put it this way, if you're going to the field 5 days a week, but you're not strength training and gaining mobility, you're going to stay stagnant in your sport. You're not going to progress. You're kind of be on this, this level and not be able to hit the next level, right? So how do we sort of progress or sort of track results in either running, jumping, running faster, whatever it is? Well, you have to strength train. You have to get stronger. You have to get more mobile, so that we can get a longer stride, longer jump, more explosion, more acceleration. You can't just get that from playing sports. You definitely should work on your sport. I'm not saying don't, but you have to be strength training correctly. You have to be working longer and shorter ranges of motion to build the connective tissue and also sort of create remodeling and adaptation of the muscles itself. So strength training and mobility, building connective tissue, you got to be doing these majority of the time. I would say if you're an off-season athlete, working on plyometrics is probably like a 1 to 2 times a week thing, right? I wasn't the strongest or fastest athlete, but I probably am upwards of my potential now. Now, I strength train 5 days a week, and I run and jump maybe once a week. And I got my first dunk, no problem. Could pull up a video here real quick of just showing you the dunk. But yeah, it's really just all about length and strength of muscles that will create more of an athletic ability, and then going and playing your sport is really just to test what you've built in the gym. It's kind of a misconception for people. Yeah, so basically the overview is tendons and ligaments. When you overuse them, right, they start to get tight, okay? And it's more difficult to get deeper ranges of motion, right? So if I'm gonna full range squat, right? If I'm gonna full range squat, and my quads are in a stretched position almost, right? I'm actually building and lengthening the connective tissue in my knee, right? It's a different way to train the tendon. A plyometric, right? Say I'm jumping on 1 foot, right? Right? Say it's a plyometric, right? I'm working this. These are good to do, right? But I would say that it's kind of focusing only on the tendons and not really building much muscle. So if you're weak in an area, right, you want to strength train first. Let's say you squat once a week or twice a week, and we're building the muscles here so that when we go at the end of the week, we can test that strength, and the muscles will be there. We'll be able to actually work the muscle properly when we're doing that plyometric, right? We're kind of building stability around the joint so that the plyometric feels better. We're not going to have pain after the plyometric. A lot of guys will go play a football game or go play a basketball game or even baseball game, right? And you're throwing, or let's say you're jumping a lot, you're getting rebounds, whatever it is, and you have knee pain after, ankle pain, hip pain. Why is that, right? Because we're overusing the tendons and we don't have enough stability around the joint, right? The knee is a perfect example, right? The VMO, this muscle right here, right? This teardrop muscle in the quad. It's a great knee stabilizer. The stronger this is and the longer it is, it's going to stabilize the knee. The tibialis, right? Tib raises, right? Working the full range squats for the VMO and working the tibialis raise is going to stabilize the knee so that jumping, right? Jumping is going to feel a lot better. And if, let's say you have a jump day, you're working, you're working at a practice, right? Let's say I'm a basketball player and I'm a center and I'm getting a lot of rebounds, right? If I'm not doing VMO squats, tibialis raises, I'm going to have knee pain after practice. There's no question. There is absolutely no question. It's sort of a misconception. Like, I see a lot of guys that they're like, oh, I got to go to the field today. It's like, Sure, you can do that, but are you doing your tib raises? Are you protecting the joints, building the muscles around the joint so that after you're done with the field work or whatever you're doing, you don't feel bad, like you don't have any pain in an area, right? Another thing that I kind of want to touch on is tightness. It's good to do field work, but if you're tight, okay, you're very prone to injury. If you're making a break, making a cut, whatever it is, you're very prone to it. So I would say working on a mobility session before and even after you're done with some sort of field work is very important, right? Getting into, something like an elephant walk where we're just here, right? Opening up those hamstrings before a session. Getting into a split squat, just being able to open up that hip flexor just before, I'm running routes or going through a full practice, right? Whatever it is, trying to open up the hip flexors, gain some mobility in an area, right? Use the stretch strength concept, right? Open up that glute, right? We're stretching and we're strengthening. I'm actually driving the knee into the ground, right? Why do we use these principles? Well, because if you use stretch strength concepts, you build the muscle to protect the joint, and you're not just building the muscle and it's staying tight, right? You want to build the muscle and you actually gain mobility there to protect the joints more and more, right? So the whole point of what I'm saying is plyometrics are a tool. Strength training is a must. There's a difference. If you're not getting stronger and all you're doing is jumping drills or cone drills or ladder drills, you're going to stay here. You are not going to progress, okay? Building mobility, building the muscles around the joint, creating more adaptation, building a stronger lower back. This is what's going to make you more athletic. Going to the field and running and jumping and catching balls or whatever it is, it will help, but it will be here. Strength and mobility will be here as long as you keep progressing, right? So let me break down what I did to get that done, because I said earlier, right? Basically, I strength trained and did mobility roughly 5 times a week. I would do lower Monday, upper Tuesday, mobility Wednesday, lower Thursday, upper Friday, maybe some mobility on Saturday, but mainly a rest day. And then Sunday, I would run and jump, right? I only did it once, just once a week. And it was very basic. And I was progressing fast because I didn't have so much overuse of my tendons when I was jumping, right? I didn't have so much overuse because I was preparing and lengthening and opening the connective tissue into my joints in the gym throughout the week and building the muscles and gaining the mobility to prepare my body to jump, right? You want to prepare your body in the gym to go play your sport, okay? The sport is pretty much the result of what you build. Like I can't emphasize that enough. So what I was doing, I was just building, and then on Sunday, it was kind of just like, I'm gonna get what I'm gonna get. What I did in the gym is gonna relate to this, and let's test it and see what I get, right? And I was progressing each week, and this is the fastest that I've ever progressed in my life. When I played Division I football, I went to a Division I college, had strength coaches. I had a strength coach in high school. This concept, out of all of those, was the fastest that I progressed. I strength trained during the week. I ran and jumped on the weekends. Like would be like maybe an off season for you, right? And it's the fastest I ever progressed. No joke. I did this for maybe 3 months, and I got my first dunk, no problem. And at the beginning of the 3 months, I was just touching rim. By the end, way over rim, right? 3 months, 5'10", 190 pounds. You're going to tell me that you can find a strength program that can progress you this fast each week and you not have flare-ups, tweaks, joint pain, right? I mean, I can't think of a better way to do it, right? It's probably the most safest way, and it's going to prepare you and protect your body so that when you run and jump, you're not going to have any pain or not going to have, any type of thing holding you back. So yeah, that's pretty much the concept on my view on plyometrics and running and jumping and playing your sport. I'm a big proponent on strength training, getting stronger in the gym, gaining mobility, preparing your body to actually play your sport. And then when you get out there, you basically show the result that you created in the gym. So I hope I cleared up a misconception that I feel as though many athletes have. And if you are an athlete sort of struggling, trying to figure out what is the best strength training method or, how much field work should I be doing. I think this is the ideal, optimal way. If you have any questions, comment below and stay locked in.